because RAPE is RAPE. You know, one thing I've learned so much so is that I realized that the number of men that really have the balls, the number of men that really have the cojones to actually stand up for a woman, a helpless woman, you can count them. Guys, how are we all doing today? Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad to see you. My name is Chinyere of juliettsstyleglam. If this is your first time here with me, you are so very welcome. And if you already subscribed to this channel, thank you so much. If you don't know who I am, or this is your first time, hey, welcome to the party. Right, so today we're still going to be talking about the Gisele Pelicot and Dominique Pelicot case, which I talked about last week. And if you haven't watched that video, I'm going to attach it here. And so, because we've had recent developments, now I am so angry, and I am angry, so angry. I am angry because we live in a world and a system where patriarchy has decided that women, they want to undo women. We live in a world where patriarchy has decided that it is, for us, it's either we are unalived or we are violated. It's one of those two, and I am sick of it. I am tired of it. I am so over it. For many of you who may not know, you see, when I talk about cases like this, for many of you who may not know, please understand that I am speaking from a place of experience and hurt. And so when you see things like this happening, so we're going to get into these recent developments. The recent developments highlighted is that lawyers right now are beginning to plead that Gisele Pelicot was consensual to what happened to her. Gisele Pelicot actually gave her consent. Now, before I go further, now I'm going to give you the reasons why their argument is based on this. So I'm going to start. Now, please know that the rape law in France have not been updated since 1978. Okay, please. And so listen to the law on, violation, on sexual violation. And I read, the law states that any act of sexual penetration, whatever its nature, committed against another person by violence, constraint, threat, or surprise is considered RAPE. That said, now, when they wanted to update this law, right, France was one of the member states, along with Germany, the Netherlands, and Hungary, opposed to a Europe wide definition of RAPE based on the notion of consent, which led to the EU to eventually give up on the idea. Now, please also know that since 2017, that the cases of RAPE have increased. So in 2017, France recorded 960 RAPE convictions, and then by 2022, they recorded 1,260 rape convictions. That's a 30% increase. Please hear me. Now, I now decided, okay, so let me go further and find out why these lawyers have decided that they want to play devil's advocate. And so, in the French laws, right, it is said that the absence of consent must be manifested, right, by violence, coercion, and threats. And here, I just want to use the opportunity because I'm going to use their arguments to debunk what they just argued for. All right. So they said that absence of consent must be manifested by violence, coercion, threats, right? And it's all based on the victim's capacity, right? And then the perpetrators of the act have to have intention to commit. And it also is based on the awareness of the victims of what is happening. So if the victim was not aware, or if the victim was taken by surprise, these are the conditions that have been put down, okay, for consent. And so it constitutes a lack of consent. Now, because of Gisele Pelicot's case, today, which is what is termed as chemical submission, because she was she was inert, okay, while her husband solicited 91 men, right, to become active with her while inert, right? And so the ANEM says that chemical submission or vulnerability, which refers to taking advantage of the fragile state of a person who has freely consumed substances in order to assault them. In both cases, the victim is never responsible for the assault on them. Now, I'm going to allow you guys to listen to the argument of a lawyer, and then unfortunately there lies a female lawyer who has done the female population a very big disservice. Now, I understand, I know where she was going to with that, and I'm going to explain this after you all watch the videos.
Il y a viol et viol à partir du moment où effectivement il y a une intention coupable, à partir du moment où on arrive à rapporter la preuve du fait que la personne qui a commis les actes avait conscience de commettre des actes de viol, il y a viol. Sinon il n'y a pas viol. Si l'auteur s'est trompé, s'est mépris, la Cour de cassation dit toujours qu'il n'y a pas de viol.
Une petite phrase qui a choqué sur tous les plateaux.
L'avocat qui nous dit il y a viol et viol, non.
C'est évidemment absolument choquant.
Moi j'ai été outrée.
C'est évidemment abject, je suis extrêmement choquée.
Et cette déclaration a même fait réagir les avocats des autres accusés.
La loi ne distingue pas un viol et un viol. Il y a un viol, soit il n'y a pas de viol. Mais on ne peut pas dire que le viol n'existe pas si on n'a pas eu l'intention de le commettre. Un viol reste un viol.
Si la personne violée, elle n'était pas consentante, à ce moment-là, elle a été violée. Si elle était consentante, à ce moment-là, ce n'est plus un viol. Mais il n'y a pas de vitesse à un viol.
Et on rappelle ce soir ce qui est écrit dans le code pénal. Tout acte de pénétration sexuelle de quelque nature qu'il soit commis sur la personne d'autrui ou sur la personne de l'auteur de violence, par violence, contrainte, menace ou surprise est un viol. En résumé, soit il y a viol, soit il n'y a pas viol. Mais en aucun cas, il peut y avoir un viol acceptable et non condamné par la loi.
So, you heard where the lawyer said that, a lawyer said that there is RAPE and there is the RAPE, and I'm asking myself, at what point does somebody stoop so low to now begin to look for how to redefine the word RAPE? Because, like, dude, what are we talking about? You're a lawyer. Many of them, two of them, more of them have argued that they are in defense of their clients. Fair enough. But this is where it gets ugly. A woman, a female lawyer by the name of Nadia El Barumi. Now, this is what she decided to do. She was using, okay, she's using the loopholes, right? She's using the loopholes in the law, right? And I get it. Now, but this is where it goes awry. Now, Nadia now goes on the internet. She goes on social media and begins to talk about the case. I am going to play her video to you because she's now trying to cover her, you know, her back. But it's not working. She's trying to cover her back, but it's not working at this moment because on 2 occasions, journalists had to shut her down. So she went on air, online, and decided to share her biased view and said that Gisele Pelicot was, that she did everything. She was consensual to the acts and that she was conscious.
Voilà. Sachez que depuis le départ, dans ce procès, il y a une mise en scène totale de Madame Pelicot dont on va en faire effectivement une icône.
C'est une victime avant d'être une
mise en
icône.
scène, mais c'est scandaleux.
Laissez-moi terminer, bon sang, laissez-moi terminer.
Non, mais vous parlez de mise en scène, c'est une femme qui comparait en tant que victime.
Attendez, je termine. Si vous me laissez parler, vous l'avez laissé parler. La mise en scène, elle se fait comment?
Mais je rectifie.
Elle se fait comment? Elle se fait, on est dans un procès pénal. Dès qu'il y a une intervention de la partie civile, elle sort. Il y a tous les journalistes qui lui sautent dessus. On lui fait une haie d'honneur, on lui offre un bouquet de fleurs. Il y a toute une mise en scène qui se fait. Je suis désolée de vous le dire, s'il y a quelqu'un qui met en scène ce procès, ce n'est pas nous. C'est effectivement une partie civile qui était largement aidée par des médias qui ont pris un parti pris. Je l'entends. Moi, derrière, j'essaie de faire mon travail. Le moindre propos que je peux utiliser, il est réutilisé, il est transformé alors que je suis en train d'exercer les droits de la défense. Une fois qu'on va effectivement essayer de se défendre, nous, avocats, au bénéfice de nos clients, nos propos sont utilisés sur des réseaux sociaux, Twitter, etc., où moi j'étais au top avant même cette vidéo. J'ai le malheur effectivement de vouloir dire à mes détracteurs au travers de cette vidéo, qui ne me feront pas taire, eh bien, j'ai effectivement une hystérie publique qui est créée par qui? Par vous, les médias, encore une fois. Ou encore une fois, on nous dit, mais vous savez, c'est une partie civile. Attendez, on nous dit c'est une partie civile, il faut la préserver.
Excusez-moi, Maître El Bouroumi,
on est dans un procès pénal.
Je vous ai laissé parler. Je vous ai laissé parler. Maintenant, j'ai envie de vous demander, cette femme qui est victime, ou en tout cas victime présumée, qui comparaît dans un procès pour 51 viols. Oui, vous dites qu'elle devient... Oui, voilà, c'est une victime, évidemment. Vous dites qu'elle devient une icône, mais est-ce que comment dire, est-ce que vous avez de la compassion pour cette femme? Est-ce que vous reconnaissez son courage? Parce que vous parlez de...
Madame la journaliste, est-ce que dans le cadre d'un procès d'assises, où vous avez des gens qui sont poursuivis, dans lequel il doit y avoir une procédure, dans lequel il y a des règles, comme on dit, alors qu'on me les rappelle systématiquement, est-ce que c'est le lieu pour en faire une icône? C'est ma question.
Non, mais
parce qu'à partir du moment où ça devient une icône, attendez, je termine. À partir du moment où, dans le cadre d'un procès pénal, ça devient une icône, ça veut dire que la moindre petite réflexion ou intervention contre elle devient une attaque et une agression, alors même que nous, on fait que notre métier. Je vous dis que bien sûr que c'est une victime à 100%.
Ça veut dire quoi? Ça veut dire qu'elle ne devrait pas avoir voix au chapitre, enfin qu'elle ne devrait pas parler aux médias, qu'elle ne devrait pas se montrer, en fait, qu'elle devrait se cacher.
Vous voyez comme vous me reprochez ce que je vous dis.
Non, mais vous parlez d'icône, ça paraît un peu déplacé, en fait.
Qu'elle peut intervenir. Je vous dis que bien sûr qu'elle a le droit de parler aux médias, mais
on va laisser la parole à Arnaud Gallet. Arnaud Gallet, vous aviez un mot à dire.
Je dis, mais la première chose, cette mise en scène, elle a été organisée par cette partie civile, par
si je peux me permettre,
qui a été édité par des journalistes qui sont organisés par cette association.
On a compris.
Et nous, quand on a
Arnaud Gallet, on va donner la parole à Arnaud Gallet qui doit réagir.
Déjà, si je peux me permettre, c'est pas l'association qui vient organiser quoi que ce soit. Je pense qu'il y a un vent de soutien qui est pas nouveau, avec notamment le mouvement MeToo, etc., qui naît quand même bien avant et qui fait effectivement que les personnes réagissent parce qu'on est face à quelque chose de spectaculaire et spectaculairement d'ailleurs ignoble en tant que tel. Et ça, c'est important. Et de la même manière, vous voyez, je me permets de rebondir. Je finis, s'il vous plaît. Même, je me permets de rebondir, vous voyez, je pense que si la décision est prise au bout d'un moment, alors quoi qu'on en dise, y compris au niveau des parties civiles, et là ça va m'engager moi de le dire de cette manière-là, de ne pas diffuser les vidéos, vous voyez, plus que justement la question un peu qui était dite sur le côté spectaculaire, etc. Je pense qu'au contraire, je pense que la décision prise par le président de la cour d'assises rejoint pleinement ce que dit effectivement la Cour européenne des droits de l'homme, à savoir la protection effectivement de la victime, et ça c'est quelque chose qui est essentiel, et donc il ne faut pas instrumentaliser en fait la moindre chose, comme vous le faites actuellement.
Écoutez, merci à vous deux. On vous a entendus tous les deux, c'est terminé maintenant. Merci beaucoup, Maître Nadia El Bouroumi, de vous être exprimée sur France Info. Merci, je suis désolée, c'est ce sujet.
Now, Nadia, let me tell you something. You're a mother, right? And on top of that, you're a lawyer. I mean, two badass combinations, won't you agree? But when you have been sedated or put under a substance, self-conscious or semi-conscious or inert, a lot of things are not clear. I'm going to give you a clear example. When I was doing my IVF, usually here in France, IVF is done through under sedation. Now, I'm anemic, so with me and sedation, there is a line that I cannot cross, right? And so I've never been fully sedated before. I think, well, in Nigeria, but not here. And so I told them, I said, no, I didn't want full sedation. So I was given, I've forgotten the other one, what it's called. And I wasn't fully sedated. I wasn't given an anesthesia, a full anesthesia. So I was more like in and out. Now, while in and out, right, I could hear voices. Was I strong enough? Or did I have the strength to fight? No. While in and out, was I able to decipher whose face and whose voice is this and who that person was? No. I heard the doctors, but it was far away and it was faint. Okay, Nadia, please walk with me here, because you are talking about someone. This is me. I willingly consented because I had to go through a procedure, and I was given a form of sedation that kept me semi-conscious, right? And even in my semi-conscious state, guess what? I was not allowed to work the next day. I was not allowed to do anything. Neither was I allowed to stay at home alone. This is me, semi-conscious. So when you want to argue about Gisele Pelicot being semi-conscious, well, an act of depravity was carried out on her, then please explain that you have been semi-conscious before and give us proof of you semi-conscious and being able to fight off rapists. That somebody's husband decided that his wife, right, had become a sexual doll, because that's what it was. He decided that his wife was a sexual doll and solicited, listen again, maybe Nadia you did not get this fact. He solicited these people online and he told each and every one of them what they were going to do. They were fathers, they were gardeners, they were nurses, they were firemen, they were bookkeepers, they were bakers, they were, you name it. And he made all of them, right, know what they were going to do, and they came willingly. One defender actually said, well, it's his wife, so he decides whatever he wants to do with her. Yes, somebody actually said that. Somebody actually opened his mouth and spilled that crap from his mouth. Yes. And so, Nadia, when you go in with your defense, please understand that the victim is the priority here. Because you have shown no sympathy towards Gisele Pelicot. You have only decided that you want to be the badass lawyer that gets your clients off the hook by looking for the thin line, the mistake, or the loop in the system to get them out of serving time. Now get this. Get this. While these men, I know I said it in the last video, these men have not for 1 second acknowledged what they did wrong. Only one out of the 51 that have been arraigned before the judge, only one has come out and actually said, I'm sorry. I do not know how you are feeling, or I think I know how you're feeling, and I know that I have taken something from you that you can never get back. But please, I'm sorry. Only one man. The rest, the remaining 50, believe you me, are all busy fighting. They are fighting the journalists. They are angry. They actually feel like they've done nothing wrong while hiding their heads in shame. I'm going to put the video here. You're going to see it. Take a look.
Il y a un groupe d'accusés qui sont là pour faire régner la terreur.
Le photoreporter Frédéric Munch a filmé des images hallucinantes dans les coulisses du procès des viols de Mazan. Et il s'est fait renvoyer du tribunal pour cela. Il nous raconte.
Le procès se joue aussi en coulisses. Dans ce procès, on va avoir une victime, on a 51 accusés. 51 accusés et leur défense. Ça signifie qu'on a carrément presque une meute. Ce qui me fait peur, c'est le virage qui est en train de prendre ce procès. Moi, j'ai été agressé physiquement.
Ouais, ça va être grave pour toi, je t'ai pas arrêté. Ça va être grave pour toi, film. Viens. Est-ce que t'as des couilles là?
En tout cas, pour faire ce que vous avez fait, vous en avez pas beaucoup, je pense.
Ouais, ta mère aussi. Elle a fait quoi, ta mère?
Monsieur Pelicot s'est exprimé et a dit « Je suis un violeur », au même titre que les 50 personnes derrière. À ce moment-là, on a eu des accusés qui n'avaient pas du tout la même attitude qu'après. Sont intervenus ensuite les avocats de la défense, et là on a eu un tout autre discours. On a des personnes qui sont accusées, qui ont vu du jour au lendemain des gens très intelligents, avec une robe noire, qui se sont mis à les défendre férocement, à les expliquer, mais aussi presque à les dédouaner.
C'est-à-dire qu'à partir du moment où il n'y a pas d'intention criminelle de la part des hommes qui arrivent là, effectivement, le viol peut être discuté. Voilà.
Donc on a eu des accusés qui du jour au lendemain sont devenus beaucoup plus vindicatifs et qui se sont regroupés entre eux avec des attitudes et des postures extrêmement agressives. On voyait cet avocat qui parlait d'eux comme des garçons, comme des petits garçons, des petits garnements.
Et essayer de parler de redatage, de consentement, de tout ça. Non. Évidemment, Madame Pelicot, on le voit bien, elle n'était pas consentante. Mais comment tous ces garçons ont reçu l'information? C'est ça qui est important.
Ceux qui font le buzz, pardonnez-moi du terme aujourd'hui, ce sont les avocats de la défense qui aujourd'hui jouent leur carrière. Tout le monde doit être défendu, on doit pouvoir garder quand même une certaine éthique et ne pas oublier la brutalité des faits. Moi, journaliste, je suis interdit de revenir pour parler de ce qui se passe. Voilà. La police est venue très discrètement, parce que ça marque mal quand même, la police qui va dans un carré presse. Ils m'ont demandé de les suivre, et on m'a dit qu'il fallait que je parte, sur décision de la procureure, parce que j'aurais filmé des accusés.
Et tu n'as aucun papier officiel, aucune déclaration officielle?
Rien du tout. L'accès au tribunal vous est défendu, veuillez sortir s'il vous plaît. J'ai contacté mon syndicat, parce que c'est bien de parler de la liberté de la presse dans des pays qui ne respectent rien. On a une situation qui est préoccupante, où on empêche un journaliste de s'exprimer. Véritablement, ce procès, il y aura un avant et un après Gisele Pelicot. On est probablement en train d'assister à un des procès qui est le procès des hommes. On va peut-être même redéfinir la notion de viol. Donc c'est un procès qui est extrêmement important, et pour cela, il est indispensable de parler de tous les aspects, tous les éléments.
And while they are doing that, they are also getting policemen involved to remove journalists from the courthouse. And that is where we are. And a woman, a female lawyer, I have no problem. You know, one thing I've learned so much so is that I realize that the number of men that really have the balls, the number of men that really have the cojones to actually stand up for a woman, a helpless woman, you can count them. The number, you can count them. The number of men who have the liver to actually say, this is wrong. It should not be happening to a woman. If they ever think of the fact that they have daughters, they have wives, they have sisters, they're not up to 10. In every 100, they're not. Many of them will just look and walk away. And then I really don't care about that male lawyer. I'm more interested in a woman who decided she wants to play Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Yes, Nadia El-Burumi, that was what you were going for. You were going for a Johnny Depp effect. Mind you, lawyers in France do not have the habit. It's very rarely seen that a lawyer picks up a phone, goes on socials, and begins to talk about a case that they just defended in court. Very rare. Even when Johnny Depp's case was going on, none of the lawyers said anything. It was we who were in the home bodies, the internet warriors. It was we who were watching the process, right? And we are busy giving everything we got and understood exactly what was going on. You, the lawyer, Nadia El-Burumi, decided that you needed to get your Johnny Depp moments and let people know that you were smart. My foot. A woman. What happened to women supporting women? What happened to you actually telling your clients, you got to plead guilty because this is not looking good? Because RAPE is RAPE. As long as she was not awake, as long as she was semi-conscious, as long as whatever it was that was going on and her consent was not given, you committed a crime. What about you doing that? Because Dominique Pelicot has actually said he did it. He has apologized because he's got a smart lawyer. Meanwhile, listen, Dominique Pelicot's lawyer is a woman. And so Dominique Pelicot, as we know, because he's sick, he's been ill, and so Dominique Pelicot is in the hospital, right? And through his lawyer, he opened up and said he's sorry, and he gave his excuses, right? I'm going to put it down here. He gave his excuse to his wife and apologized to her, and saying the truth. And Dominique Pelicot actually said that they are all RAPISTS like he is because they were all informed of what they were about to do. So Dominique, who recruited you all, has spoken. Get this. I also spoke about the fact that, Dominique actually started training people in his act of depravity. And guess what? One of the people that his victims from his wider network speaks up, and she says, and she nails it in the coffin for him. And so 15 men have decided that they want to look at justice in the face and get away with the acts of RAPE that they did to a woman. Please let me inform you that last year in my city, at the crack of dawn on a weekend, a girl who went out jogging, was RAPED by, and it was GANG. Yeah, one after the other. That was the news we all woke up to last year. I'm going to look for it and I'm going to stick it here so you can see it. And so when we say that our lives as women has become a bargaining chip, yes, it has become a bargaining chip for a world of men who feel that we are theirs for the taking. For the world of people who feel that it's their world and it is theirs to control, and then we are nothing. That is where we are. Right? And so we are looking at a system, because right now the case is no longer, this court case is no longer striking, the French people and women, because there have been protests, you name it. It's not striking us anymore as Gisele, the victim. We are now looking, they are trying to turn it around, right, to be the case of the recruited RAPISTS, right, as victims, and not Gisele, a woman who felt that she had come so far in her marriage with her husband, and they had gone through it all, and they have come out on top. To find out that for 10 years of your life, the man that you put your trust in, the person that said he would protect you, that you trusted, decided to betray you in this way, is unpardonable. Because these men are seeking to escape the claws of justice. Nadia El Burumi, I want you to take a sheet, right, from P. Diddy's case. I want you to take a sheet from Jeffrey Epstein's case. I want you to take a sheet from Harvey Weinstein's case. Do that, because hearing you speak, I am not even sure if you are worthy to wear that gown. I'm not sure if you're worthy to have and be given the mantle as a legal practitioner. No, I am not. I am upset that in 2024, where women and children have become the bargaining chip for depravity and depraved persons, you sit out there and you decide, and you open your mouth and you say that a woman like you did not feel the horror, you did not feel the pain, you did not feel the angst, you did not feel it, but you opened your mouth and decided that for some reason your voice needed to be heard on social media, saying that Gisele Pelicot she gave her consent and that she was semi-conscious. Something in you spoke of your intelligence to mankind, that you were about to break into something that had never been broken before. Babe, let me tell you once again, close that chapter of Johnny Depp's book. Just close it. It's not going to work here. And you can already see it's not working. Because rather than do anything for you, it has come against you. I am not, for now, because this case is going to go on from now till the December, so it's 4 months, right? And it's going to go from now till December. So I'm going to be giving you guys updates on how it goes. But I implore the justice system in France, that do not let those men walk. Don't. A lawyer said that there is RAPE and there is the RAPE, and he gave the most warped definition of what he was trying to say I'd never heard before in my life. He decided that for some reason he was going to kill his career on RAPE. Again, he's a man. I've heard the ones that came out and said the man who was recruited, right, to SA and RAPE, a woman in her home, inert, he actually said that he was a vulnerable person, that he couldn't hurt a fly, that he doesn't have conscience, he had no idea of what he was doing. He had no idea of what he was doing, but he actually knew where to put his third leg. He actually knew how to be recruited. He was able to speak and have a conversation with Dominique Pelicot. Let me remind you that Dominique Pelicot told these men, do not wear perfume, and they should not wear certain type of clothes, and they should not keep nails. He told them that. And they adhered. Yeah. He told them, don't wear that, don't do this, and don't do that. And they adhered to what he was saying. And they did that. And why? Because he needed Gisele not to ever remember. You know, that feeling of deja vu when something hits your nose, you smell hits your nose, like, oh, you smelled it before. Where do I know this smell? He didn't want her to remember. Or the fact that maybe a particular type of fabric touches her and she feels it again and she's like, I felt this fabric before. Where did it come from? Or maybe the nails that will go on her skin and probably scratch her. And she begins to trying to find, why is she having scratch marks? Or why is she, there's this sensation on my body. So when you want to go with your arguments, Nadia, once again to you, that Gisele was semi-conscious, or when you want to go with the argument that she was consensual to this act, remember that everything was done. Everything. Dominique Pelicot ensured that everything was done for her to remain inert, for her not to remember, for her to remain in that state until every deed and act was complete. And on this note, guys, do not fail to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye.